Then I will upload it to YouTube and only give
Oh.
you access.
Got it. Okay.
So, and I actually wanted to record a video with this, but okay. So body position is important. It's really rainy and a little cold here. So I want my knees soft. So this is jammed back hard straight, and this is soft where there's a tiny little bend in them. But it's not like a huge bend, you know, it's just like with my pants on, it might actually be hard to see. Jammed back, soft.
Yep, I can see that.
Subtle. So it's important to keep your knees soft, not jammed back. And people will jam their knees back, and I'm like, please don't do that, because it's really not healthy for your knees, and it can cause other problems in addition to that. I'm going to use heavier weights because as long as I'm doing this, I might as well get some benefit, right? I want you to do this. So then the next move is I'm going to tighten my transverse abdominal muscle, which is the muscle that pulls my ribs together and pulls my pelvis together.
Okay.
Now, obviously your pelvis isn't going to move together. I know that.
Okay.
But I want you to feel like I'm pulling the two sides of my pelvis together. And my feet are a good distance apart, probably shoulder to slightly wider than my shoulders. So I have a nice base of support. My elbows are going to be soft as well. So I'm not jamming my elbows straight. I'm keeping them a little soft. You see the difference? Straight,
Yep.
soft. So we want the elbows to be a little soft because it's not a great idea to do a lot of repetitions with your joints jammed into any position.
Okay.
So I'm going to start, just notice that my hands are coming up to my shoulder height and back down. I want to see how you feel at the end of 10. Now be sure that your shoulder blades are squeezed down towards your pants pockets and together in your back. There you go. So I'm looking at it thinking something's not right. Oh, we're shoulder blades.
Right. Good.
I think that's 8. We might do an extra one. It's okay. So how does your right shoulder feel when you get to 10?
Fine.
Okay. Is it, you're not feeling any fatigue or like, whoo, I made it?
Nope.
Okay. So if you can do the 10, we're going to do another 10.
Okay. You don't want me to try with my little 3-pound weights?
Ooh, no, not 3 pounds.
Okay.
I was going to say, do you have a bag of rice or beans in your kitchen cupboard? You can like run downstairs, I don't even know if it's downstairs. Grab a pound.
Grab a pound. No, I'll be okay. I would like to know when I'm done.
Say that again.
How about hands?
Hands are fine. So let's try it with the cans. And again, see, one of the things with frozen shoulder is, especially in the beginning when we're adding, you know, the resistance, we want to go slow. And I realize 1 pound doesn't sound like much, but it may be a huge amount for that shoulder. So let's do a set of 10. So I got my body position. I'm squeezed in here. My shoulder blades are down and back. Because we do not want to get that baby inflamed again.
Okay.
Okay, I think that was 10.
Got it.
And how does your shoulder feel with 1 pound?
It feels good. It doesn't feel fatigued yet.
Okay, so we're gonna do another set of 10 with the 1 pound, because I'm gonna keep you at 1 pound at least for the next 3 days.
Okay.
I don't want to go above that. Okay, now kind of wiggle around and move your shoulders and
What about my buttocks? Are they tight like my abs or not?
they should just be a normal amount of tightness. You shouldn't like think about tightening them up a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just putting the weights down so that we can give our shoulders a little bit of a break.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do another exercise.
Okay.
And we'll try the 1 pound weights again. We're listening carefully to your shoulder.
Okay.
Because what we don't want to do is get it inflamed.
Okay.
So when if it says, you know, say we're on the 3rd set of 10 and only 5 reps in and it says, then you're done. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So again, my elbows are kind of soft. Now I want you to see this from the side. And if you need to, I'll take my jacket off. My hands are slightly in front of midline. I'm not back here.
Right.
Difference?
Yeah.
Back here? No. Up here? Yes. So my shoulder blades are down and back. And again, you lift, I mean, I don't want you to lift your arms above 90 degrees, like none of this.
Okay.
But if you say, you know, right here is where it feels okay. Okay, that looks like it's above 90 degrees. I don't know if it's the camera angle right there and then down. Right there and then down. Now turn so I can see your other arm better. Now on the camera, again, you don't want your hands to be above the shoulder joint.
Okay.
I have no idea what the count is, so.
I'm on 8.
Okay.
Now I have like this little internal clock that just. How many are we doing?
10. Then we're going to take that little break.
Okay.
Let the muscles kind of relax and move around.
I can feel that one a little bit. It's not like fatigue, but I can feel it. So.
Okay. Well, again, I'm only using 4 pound weights. And that's only one more than 3, by the way. And
Well, I'm using ones.
no, but I can feel it. And at this point, I want you to do 3 days of the same amount of weight, which would be 1 pound right now. 3 days consecutively, you know, like I exercise. And if you're not having any adverse effects, meaning My shoulders aren't feeling, you know, muscle soreness. I don't count muscle soreness as an adverse effect. That's the effect we want.
Okay.
But like undue soreness where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore. Or another one would be like, oh, my shoulder is super tight today. Okay, it's 3 consecutive days where you're not having adverse effects.
Okay.
So like, let's say tomorrow you wake up and you go, oh, my shoulder's kind of tight and a little swollen today. Today didn't count as day 1. You start counting, you don't have the adverse effects. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Because that way you can progress the exercise, but so you might be at 1 pound for 5 days, but because the first 2 days you were like, wow, I was really sore and stiff. My body got used to that. And so then I got 3 days where I was like, you know, I'm a little sore. I felt like I did something. I really feel like I could go up to 2 pounds.
Okay.
Some people will say, oh, I can go up faster than that. Please don't.
Got it.
I mean, I've had some people go up a 1/2 pound at a time. I think you can probably go up 1 pound, but keep in mind you're very long, you know, you're very long.
Okay.
And the longer your lever arms are, the more force production you have to have at your shoulder joint in order to get that weight up.
Okay.
So when you think it's only 1 pound at your shoulder joint and the force production at your shoulder joint is probably closer to 25 or 30 pounds of force production. I have a whole book that discusses this. It's quite fascinating if you're a physical therapist, and most people probably don't care at all. But the lever arm makes a huge difference. Okay, so that was our 3rd set. How are your shoulders feeling?
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay, yeah, they should feel like a little warm, a little like, oh, I'm doing something.
Yes.
They shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, she's beating me up.
Nope, that's good.
Because with frozen shoulder, if you start inflaming that frozen shoulder, yeah, we don't want to go there.
Okay.
All right, so this one is my elbows are above my shoulders, and I want my shoulder blades down, my abdominal muscles tight, and I just lift that weight straight up. 2.
How do your elbows do that? It's interesting.
Lots of body power system.
Focusing on, let's see, shoulder blades down and back. What else? Oh, abs.
Yep, transverse abdominal muscles, knees soft.
I get a good stretch in my shoulder there.
Yeah, and if you feel a good stretch, that's all the further you need to go. I mean, so that gets the middle deltoid, but you're also getting the shoulder blade muscles.
So
Don't
should
know.
my hands not be going up? So like I keep kind of going like that.
Yeah, I would stop your hands about at the armpit. And then if
Okay.
you can raise your elbows, yes, like that.
Like that one goes higher, obviously, so go as high as that one will go or keep them together or,
I would take them up as high as they can go and let them be uneven if they need to.
Okay.
Because what's gonna happen is when it's gonna be like that contralateral movement. It'll probably start improving your right arm as you do that.
yes, awesome.
Now, the other thing that you can track is one exercise, you might be able to go to 2 pounds in 3 days. Another exercise, you might not be able to go to 2 pounds for 7 days.
Okay,
So it's okay to be at different weights. You just have to have different cans available
got it.
or, or different weights available so that you can, and switching the weights out. It doesn't all have to be exactly even.
Okay. Okay,
Did we do 3 sets of 10 on this one?
no,
I was gonna say, I think we have one more set of 10 on this one. Right? I think so.
like I want to get the form right, so when I do this, it's like that's good, with the shoulder blades down and back.
Is about at my armpit, and then my elbows are going up higher. This actually stretches the inferior joint capsule, is what it's called when you do it like this.
Okay,
And that's why your left arm goes up higher than your right, because in frozen shoulder, that inferior joint capsule is one of the last things to come fully back.
okay.
And my goal is to give people information and training so that in 6 months or a year from now, you'll be like, I can't remember which shoulder it was.
Yes,
Oh, back in 2022, when I hurt my shoulder and I still have pain from it. Yeah, my goal is not to have that.
yes, I love it. That's 10. I think I lost track.
10 for me. I think we're pretty close together.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did flexion, we did abduction, scaption, we did pull-ups, pulling the weight up. Okay, we need to do triceps, biceps, and then we'll lay down and do pec.
Okay,
So there's 2 ways you can do triceps, and I'm fine with either one. One of them is I put my arm like this. I just hold my elbow to give it a little support, and I straighten out that arm.
in fact, I can even do this at all, it's wonderful.
I agree, 10. Because I was like, we're probably going to have to do it the other way, but let's just test this and see. No, that looks good. As long as you're not getting pain or feeling like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of, that's just really hard to do.
Yeah, no,
Because this also gives that inferior joint capsule a nice stretch while you're strengthening the tricep muscle.
Okay.
Mm.
It's funny to be doing it without a weight and still feel a stretch and a little bit of strengthening. And would you do it on both sides usually?
Yeah, I would do it on both sides. And I would usually start with the better side because then there's that 10 repetitions to say, hey, this is how we need to do it. Can you feel how we're doing it over here?
Okay. Is your arm like, see where it is on my head? Is it actually back here?
Let's see. Does that answer it?
Oh, so you're not even using the other arm to support it?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna say I never do, but this arm doesn't need the support, honestly, but my left arm that I've had 2 left shoulder surgeries. So I'm quite good about I'm quite skilled at shoulder pain.
Got it.
This arm, I can't bring it as far down
Okay.
and I give it a little support.
Nice.
But this is also the shoulder that I have the surgeries on, and the surgeon even said, you're gonna have to keep this shoulder strong, strong, strong the rest of your life, doing exercises. And if I miss a week or 10 days of exercises on that shoulder, my body yells at me.
Wow.
It says, you're forgetting me, stop it. Oh, it's so funny. My whole family's like, are you okay? Because I guess there's flash flood warnings for the state of Texas. And I'm like, well, I'm on the 4th floor of the building.
Right, that helps.
It'd have to be a dam break to hit here.
Does this look about the right form?
So can you bring your elbow up closer to the ceiling? Like it's kind of pointing forward?
Pushing it, yeah, a little.
Okay. And you get probably a pretty good stretch in that inferior part of the underarm.
And then I get super sore on my lower back. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That has got to be latissimus dorsi. So I'm going to teach you a stretch that typically helps that. So if that exercise is like, you know, I can't do it very well, there's another way you can strengthen the triceps. You bend, lean forward, and then I'm going to straighten out my arm back here. Now, I like it when you're doing your shoulder the other way because that is stretching the inferior joint capsule plus your latissimus.
Right. How are your arms? Here?
Yeah, so I'm here. I come straight and lift up a little bit. Come straight and lift up a little bit. Now the other way where your hand, you know, where your elbow's up over your head, I like because it's going to stretch that joint capsule. Still needs a little more stretch in there.
Yeah. It does feel good. I mean,
So you might do like a set or two of the 10 like this, and then you might say, you know what, that's as much as I could do, but I can do the other way, the other tricep strengthening activity, which is this
Okay.
one.
okay,
I can do that one the last set. So I'm still getting the muscles stronger, but I'm also getting some joint stretch without overdoing it.
okay. That sounds good.
So just really listen to your body on this one, because overdoing frozen shoulder is, in my experience, not the way to go.
Okay.
Because some people get really excited that it's doing better, and then they, do some crazy go to town, thing. And I'm just like, yeah, doesn't work that way very well.
Okay.
I was at Costco, by the way, and I saw Melaleuca honey at Costco.
Oh, Manuka?
Yeah, Manuka.
Yes. Awesome.
And it was a fairly small jar for like $30.
Right. It is.
But-
It's yeah, my son just got scraped on his bike, and even the Manuka honey on sores and stuff is amazing.
So you just spread the honey. Hi.
Yep.
You just spread the honey on the sore.
Yep. On the wound or rug burn or scrapes. Toes that want to be amputated, they just put it in a condom and put it on the toe for 2 days, and the toe is healed. It's amazing stuff. My husband just went to a conference where he was sharing about Manuka and a bunch of other stuff. And I can't remember the name of the person, but he did refer him to you. It's like, oh, I know this great PT lady who does my wife. So like, good.
No, and I just talked to a guy in Florida who also has, it sounds like a frozen shoulder. He kept telling me, well, no, I think it's a rotary cuff tear. And I was like, well, it doesn't sound like it from your description. To me, it sounds more like we're dealing with a frozen shoulder.
I tell him, listen to Mary.
But
Okay,
I said,
so-
we weren't online, so I couldn't see it. I was just from his
Oh, right.
description.
Okay. Yep.
But hopefully after Wednesday, we'll get online. So biceps.
Okay.
I'm thinking through muscle groups, right?
Yep.
So in biceps, I want to do a curl all the way up. So I made sure my knees are soft. I tightened my tummy muscles. I brought my shoulder blades down and back. And then and so sometimes I'll do one and the other like this.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do this. Now here's what happens when people have very much weight and they haven't been doing a lot of resistant exercise. I see.
Right. Get that momentum going.
That's a no. So we got to tighten our tummy muscles, lower our
Okay.
shoulder blades into our back pockets, and then we want to bring the weights up and see my body is quite stationary.
Yes.
So I'm not going, I had a guy come in and he's like, I have this back pain. And he grabs a 25-pound weight I have on the floor. And
Oh,
he starts doing, look, I can curl this 25-pound weight. And I said, but what are you doing to your back? I said, I want you to just do a deadlift like this. And he couldn't come close to lifting the 25 pounds.
right. Right.
He said, this is, something we have to work on, because we can correct your back. But if you're going to lift weights like that, you're going to be having back pain.
Right.
I mean, the guy was in his 70s. Why do you need to be lifting 25 pounds?
Don't need to prove anything to anyone.
That's my attitude. It's like I'm using 4-pound weights. I went to we actually had a class on, like using light hand weights to do different rehab techniques. And And then I knew the class, it was 2-day class. So I took 2-pound weights, I think was what I took. And, you know, all these guys had like 5 pounds and all these, you know, bigger
Right.
weights. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see you in class tomorrow, guys. Because we did this stuff all day long, all day,
Oh,
hours
right.
and hours
Oh my
of
goodness.
different exercises. And by the end, you were like, just shoot me now.
Make
So
sure.
do you eat Manuka honey?
Spray. Yeah, well, there's a spray. Yeah, you can eat Manuka honey. I mean, you can use it to coat your throat. It's, yeah, I think
I
it's
just
good
wonder
for-
how healing it would be for the GI tract.
That's a great question. Mark knows more about it than I do. Something about how it doesn't just absorb, so it goes all the way to your GI tract. Other things absorb, like in the bloodstream as it's going or something. I can't quite remember.
Well, when he has some time, I would love to talk to him about this
Okay,
because I've been having some very significant issues with my GI tract. And I would go
okay,
and pay the $30 for the jar of honey at Costco.
okay, good. I'll tell him.
Especially if he said, you know, like maybe do it, since he knows a lot more than either of us, like, do I do it twice a day, 3 times a day? How often would I need to ingest some? How much of the honey would I need to ingest?
Okay. About 2 sprays. No, she's talking about the different.
No, because if it heals stuff, this is what I'm thinking. If it did amazing on his wound on the skin, would it do
Right.
amazing on a wound in my intestines?
Right, that's a great question.
And so, because every medicine the doctor prescribes for me has made me sicker. And so
Oh.
right now I'm using, I got online, I read some stuff, cabbage juice and wheatgrass juice and blah, blah, blah. So I've been doing all that stuff.
Okay,
But this would be a good way for me to like check out the Manuka honey.
yes,
Because honey's ingestible, so you know, and like they didn't have a sign there that went for health and wellness purposes. They just had a big pallet of the honey. So I was like, well, if you've never heard of this, nobody's ever shared it with you. How would you know what that's good for and why you would want to pay $30 for it? Because this is not a huge jar. But
right.
but the medication, every medication they put me on has caused tremendous side effects that I've had to quit the medication. No, there's one that I'm still taking, but most of them I can't take because they just make me feel so bad. So, and I even asked the doctor, I said, is there an herb or a food substance or something I can use instead of these drugs that seem to make me sicker than the problem? And he was just like, I was
Sure.
like, obviously I'm gonna have to look for another source of information in this situation.
Right. I'll ask Mark. If you have 5 minutes at the end of the call, just call him up. He's doing breakfast for the kids. I guess you've already eaten.
Do I have his phone number?
I'll give it to you right now.
Okay, hold on. I guess these things are going, I guess this stuff, information on this flash flood warnings or whatever in Texas are going nationwide. All these people are like, are you okay? I'm fine.
Oh, that's good. People are looking out for you.
So it must be a nationwide thing that they're. But yeah, that just popped into my head because I've been praying and going, okay, Mark
Morris.
Morris.
Morris, I was Harris before
I
married.
already have him. I already have him in my phone.
Perfect.
So, yeah, there he is. So I'll give him a call after we get off and ask him because
Okay.
boy, I am so willing to go over there and buy some of this or figure out, you know, if yours is different than whatever this is. I don't remember a brand or anything on the bottle. I just thought, oh, look, there's Manuka honey.
That's so cool. Now I see it more places too, like health food stores. It's like, oh, Manuka. That's so cool.
So I still have some Manuka oil, but I'm just not, probably if I diluted it, I would be more inclined to use the honey because it's going to be, the essential oils are can be incredibly caustic, some of them. And so you have to dilute them in order to ingest them. And I don't know enough about Manuka oil to decide, oh, I think I should drink some of this, you know?
Right.
Because there are a few oils that are really not good to ingest, like eucalyptus. And okay, so we got biceps, triceps, anterior deltoid, middle deltoid, middle deltoid. Okay, we're going to do rotator.
Okay.
So on the rotator, again, I want to get set. Now I'm going to come up and then rotate. Rotate down. Up. Rotate.
I'll do my left first.
Come back down. Yeah, this arm can't do what the other one can do. So I just do what it can do. It's weak. So in that case, what can I do? I can go down a pound on my weight and see, can I do a little bit better when I go down? Yes, I can.
Okay.
So then I would say, okay, do it with the less weight.
Then I still don't have full rotation on this, although the exercises are helping. So.
Well, in this, my problem isn't frozen shoulder. My problem is had two surgeries to keep the shoulder in joint because it would dislocate.
Okay.
So I don't want full range of motion on this shoulder. This is enough for me, but I do want the range of motion I have to be strong.
Got it. And what would my goal be? First, range of motion and strength?
Well, at this point, we're combining to get both range of motion and strength together because I would like some more range of motion in your shoulder.
Okay.
But we also need to get some strength so that we can use that range of motion. But that movement right there looks, I mean, it's very, the kinesthetics, the pattern of the movement is very good, even though the range is still a little limited.
Okay. I have to remind myself it's huge progress. But I'm like, we'll go all the way.
Yeah, we want to get your range as full and as we are able to. But some people, when they see mine, they're like, oh, you want me to do it like you? I'm like, no, not really. Because my goal is to avoid having another surgery.
Yes. Wow. Actually,
I think That Manuka, I think the Manuka honey, that just popped into my head. When stuff happens like that, it's usually like a
Holy
really
Spirit.
good, yeah. I mean, I could put it on my toast. I could eat a spoonful. I don't know, whatever it takes.
Right. My arm's actually getting tired. Is that weird? I have no weight or anything.
No, it's not weird. I'm actually surprised we're still doing new exercises and and you haven't said, okay, that's it, I'm done. Because the endurance fibers on this shoulder are gonna be wimpy.
Okay.
So if it's getting quite tired, then I would say go ahead and give it a break because we don't want it to be like miserably sore tomorrow.
Just starting to get pretty tired.
And then you have some deep blue. So after the session, I would rub some deep blue on it.
Carly, I'm trying to also get the form right, so I do it.
Shoulder blade down, good. Because what is Manuka? Is it like a flower or a tree or a?
Honey. Yeah, it's a plant. It's the Manuka plant. And then they harvest the honey.
Yeah, because the honey gets made from the pollen of the Manuka plant,
Right.
from the bees. And so any of the therapeutic benefits that would be in the pollen would be collected into the honey. And that's
That's my understanding. Mark, you'll know more. She's
Oh.
fascinated about the Manuka.
She found it at a store.
It was at Costco for $30 for a small jar.
Cool.
Yeah, it might have been about a cup.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm having some GI problems in my gut with ulcer problems. And so I'm just wondering if I consumed the Manuka honey, would that help that healing? Because Jennifer
Yes.
was telling me how it helped your son's wound heal from a road rash, it sounded like. And I was like, well, if it had helped that, what could it do for my insides? Because I really
Right. So
need some
the
help.
honey itself, you take like half a teaspoon 3 times a day. It survives going through the digestive process in the stomach, and then so it can get to the gut and start healing it. Gavin's granddaughter was given antibiotics when she was 1, and it messed up her immune system and her gut. And they gave her, she was sick, chronically sick for 3 years. And then they gave her the nasal spray, and it took 7 months of the honey to restore her immune system.
Okay.
So 3 times a day. It took a while.
You said half a teaspoon?
Yeah.
She just wants kind of the guidance somehow.
So half a teaspoon 3 times a day.
Okay, so that's not very much. I was thinking like a tablespoon. It's a good thing I asked.
Yeah, well, what Gavin said was when people take that, it's like you're taking medicine, but you're taking it in food quantities. So like the nasal spray, the active ingredient in the honey, we're taking through clinical trials to bring it to market as a new class of antibiotics. So it's just like you're serving medicine by the tablespoon, and that's just the wrong dosage.
Okay. Well, I haven't bought it yet. I saw it, and then the medications that the medications that they've given me to treat the colon, every one of them have made me so sick I couldn't take them for longer than a few days. And
Do you have any acid reflux?
No, I have an ulcer in my stomach, and then I have ulcerative colitis. And so
Me
the
too.
stomach and the colon.
So God healed me from the ulcerative colitis. That's the easiest way.
That was before you knew about Manuka too.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
was
I've
sick
been
with that
praying
for
a
12
lot.
years.
Because the doctors are just making me a little crazy with their drugs.
Right.
Yeah, they gave me zolfidine and a steroid, prednisone or something.
Yeah, they tried to give me a steroid. I said, don't bother. I'm not taking a steroid
Right.
because there's too many side effects and I'm not going to take that. So he prescribed, this was the third medication he prescribed, and I haven't even picked it up at the pharmacy because I'm honestly really afraid of it. And so because the other medications have made me so sick, I wasn't functional for like days after I stopped taking them. So that's, and then she was telling me about healing the wounds on your son's leg or some body part. And I just thought an ulcer in your colon or your stomach, and I have both, are wounds. So and that's when I asked her, would Manuka work for that? And she was like, well, I don't know. Mike knows more about that, or Mark knows more about that.
Yeah,
So-
so let me give you one warning. Most of the Manuka comes from New Zealand. It's a Manuka plant where the bees get the pollen, they make the honey, and then the honey has something special in it. Most of the companies there irradiate the honey to purify it. And what they do is they don't filter out all of the bee poop and bee parts and the other stuff that really contaminate it.
Right.
So our honey we have honey that goes through a process that makes it medical grade, and that's a purity standard. And we don't radiate the honey. So Manuka Guard is our manukaguard.com is the website. And nobody has a nasal spray where you can put anyhow. When the spray, when it goes to your sinuses, for a biofilm forms in your sinuses where the bacteria and viruses hang out and grow. I think it's the National Institute of Health say 80% of infection comes into the body through your sinuses, your nasal passages. And so that kills the bad bacteria. If you spray 2 or 3 times in a nostril, if you still feel a stinging sensation, then you have an issue and it's killing the biofilm. As far as we know, there's not any other products that kill a biofilm. So we did testing at University of Montana at their biofilm division department.
You know, that's where I went to school.
Woohoo!
I went to school at the University of Montana. That's where I got my PT degree from.
Awesome.
Well, it killed 85% of the biofilm in 1 hour. And
Wow.
the guys there didn't believe that honey would do that. So they're trying to figure out, oh, it's the sugars or it's this or it's that. It's just like, you're scientists, guys. But they just didn't want to believe that an ingredient in the honey would do that. It's too simple for them.
Well, I've cured a whole lot of things just by drinking more water. And, you know, that's pretty simple too, but this whole stomach digestion thing I just need something else. So if I go to this website, can I order it off of there or?
Yes, you can get pots of honey and you can get the nasal spray. There's a heartburn remedy that's apple cider vinegar and medical grade Manuka honey. That was the first product when he got diagnosed with acid reflux and said, take this purple pill for the rest of your life. And that's what started this whole journey.
Okay, so I will go there and take a look. Is this like MLM? Do you get credit if I buy under your account or
No.
something?
I'll
Okay.
get that set up sometime, but I work for the company now.
Oh, okay.
So Gavin before this, he had, I think 34 jewelry stores. They were a public company. And I wrote the point of sale and inventory control software. He's been my customer since '87. And I called him up in February, said, I was using the sinus spray I had the sinus drip into my lungs. I was diagnosed with bronchitis for the last 8 years. And it almost totally cleared up my lungs. And so I called him, I said, do you have this in an inhaler so I can get the bottom crud in my lungs? And he said, no, we're working on it, but you can nebulize the honey and get it in there. And then he said, I'm going to start raising capital. I said, okay, I'll be your first investor. And then 2 days later, he invited me into the company
Cool.
because we know each other really well. And
Well, I actually have a lady I'm working with right now that they did dental implants. And so the infection came from the dental implants and went up into her sinuses, and now they want to do sinus surgery. And I said, please don't do that yet. Please, please, please. But maybe I can talk to her about this Manuka nasal spray too, because she's already doing a couple other things I've recommended, like colloidal silver, but it sounds like the biofilm would be best gotten rid of with the
nasal spray.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
people are
so-
avoiding surgery for rhinosinusitis with it.
Yes.
It just chews through it and gets rid of it. But I would not use it more than 3 times a day.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it's certainly worth a try. Even our kids, like, we haven't used antibiotics in years since we've done Manuka. It's like any cold symptoms, they're just
Yeah.
doing the spray in the nose or even just the throat. Our daughter, she doesn't like the nose, but even just the throat, it's amazing.
And we got, anyhow, you can clear yourself. If you have any questions,
Cool.
She's
Let
got
me
your
know.
phone number.
I
yeah.
have your phone number, so I'm gonna look this up. Because I just can't use these drugs. They make me so much sicker than the disease. I'd rather have the disease than the drugs. And then it just, yeah, when she's talking about the wounds, and I'm thinking, I have a wound inside me.
Good
Yeah,
connection.
so the highest honey pot, the medical grade is like $65 at Vitamin Shop. But I think the next grade down, the energy, I think it has the same active ingredients and it's only like $45.
And which one is that?
I'll have to look it up and send it to you.
Why don't you
okay.
text her a photo?
Because there's 6 different grades and I think the top 2 have different prices, but I think they have the same active, or it might be a misprint on the list. I was gonna check with Gavin on that.
Okay. Yeah, just text it to me. I think
Okay.
you have my phone number.
Oh, and stay after Gary, because he got in a car accident. He's messed up.
Gary Blair?
Gary Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I wondered how he got my name. It was you guys.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we
He's a
talked.
friend of a friend.
So we talked this morning and we're gonna talk again on Wednesday.
Okay, I'll talk to him again. Just get started with him. Or he's got to make that decision. Okay.
So. Okay. Got to do a laying down exercise, but I need to get my camera in a good spot. There we go. And then I'll smush my body in a good spot. So you're gonna think about this as like a Valentine. So I'm taking my hands up,
Okay.
moving them around like the top of the heart and down at the bottom of the heart. Up in the middle. Around like the big part of the heart. And then down to the bottom pointy part. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, that's a great illustration.
Because again, I'm engaging my rotators quite a bit. Ouch, not to mention my pectoral muscles.
I got 1 pound weights.
Yeah, this one, if you don't use some, yeah, you probably need at least the 1 pound weights for sure. You know, as much as I exercise, I'm a little shocked at doing these specific exercises with you, how much weaker my left arm is, or my left shoulder is than my right on all of these movements. I can feel the difference.
Interesting.
Because I don't usually do like all these shoulder strengthening activities at one time. Because most of my patients aren't as compliant as you are. And as a result of them not being compliant, I can't do all this stuff in one session because they can't handle it.
God. So my elbows are staying pretty close to the floor, is that right? Just as a measurement, like the cans are close to my chest.
Yeah, and really reach them up over your head
Okay. Yeah.
and then bring them down to the sides. And then to that little point at the bottom. Yeah. Because this really works the pectoral muscles. There's 2 of them, major and minor. Really works both of them through like the whole range.
Okay.
Man, my arm can feel that. 4 pounds might be actually too many for me to do that with.
But what about your hands? Are your palms facing down? Is it all kind of rotating? Does it matter?
So I actually have my fists together like this.
Okay.
So I have them like this when I'm bringing them up in the middle.
Okay.
And then when I get up as far as I can go, then my palms are rotating a little bit towards the ceiling.
Okay.
As I bring them down. And then when I bring them back into the middle, I give myself a little rest. So I just let them lay on my tummy for a second. And then I plant the 2 fists together again.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I probably should be doing that particular movement with 3 pounds rather than 4. I hope I'm not regretting that later. No, because when somebody, here's one of the things I've learned about a lot of this, natural stuff. One, it's not well regulated. And so you really have to look for a company like doTERRA on essential oils. Their oils are pure. I did a lot of investigation of it
Okay,
to make sure
Right.
they were pure, because I've seen really poor quality oils sold at like, Sprouts and Whole Foods and lots of stores that you would think would have good stuff. But their job is to put stuff on their shelves so people buy it.
ah,
Not necessarily, they say that it's all good, but I've seen some really low quality oils at these places, and that's why it's like I would rather wait a day or two or however long it takes to get a high quality product and even pay
Right.
a little bit more for it.
good
Because
thinking.
the difference in good essential oils versus, Whole Foods or Sprout essential oils or Walmart essential oils is like night and day.
Okay,
The therapeutic benefits are massively different.
wow,
I was actually at a conference and I was really sick, and my roommate is quite an expert on essential oils. And so she was helping me, and I was like, but I have essential oils. And I was like, but hers works so much better. So I started reading and looking at science and looking at people's information. And I went, okay, this company
right, good for you.
actually will prove to you that their oils are pure by a third-party testing company. And the
Yes,
other thing, I actually know these guys who have a business where they take honey and they put it in these plastic tubes, so you can just cut the end off or take the end off and suck the honey
Oh.
out of the tube.
that's a great idea.
So if you guys are, if this other guy, if you're interested, I can hook you up with these guys to put
Okay.
in tubes, because I thought bringing a teaspoon of honey to work is going to be a big pain in the rump. I thought it
Right.
needs to be in the honey tubes, but the whole development of this company is they put different vitamin products into the honey tubes with the
And it's-
honey.
A serving.
Yeah,
the
so then
tube.
you just, you can just, pull it out. You can put it in your
Right.
coffee, I guess. I don't know if that affects the manuka or whatever, but, they have it so it's like, they have, I think 3 or 4 different things that they put in the sticks right now, but they already have it all set up.
Right, that's a great
So-
idea.
To work with another company to just be like, okay, well, we'll set your honey up, because it's been quite a process to get it so that, to be able to get the right kind of tubing, and I don't know, all the complexities, but,
That's a great
yeah,
idea.
they're actually in Tennessee, but, they won a contest, some entrepreneurial contest with their brilliant idea.
Cool.
And so right now they're actually working on one. We're working on one that's for osteoporosis.
Nice.
So that, I said, if you did one for osteoporosis, and they're like, well, all this wouldn't fit in one tube. And I said, no, I told your grandpa that, because I know the grandpa of these guys.
Ah,
I mean, I have met them. I just
Right.
talked to their grandpa a whole lot more than them. Anyway, because he's probably closer to my age than they are. But anyways, so, but yeah, I even told their grandpa, I said, no, this would have to be at least 2 to 3 honey sticks a day to get all of these nutrients to really impact the osteoporosis. But in this combination, what the science shows is that you need all these different minerals and stuff in these quantities to help your body absorb the calcium and use it in the right places. So
great.
they're looking at that as well. So if that's
Cool.
something that you guys go, yeah, then we don't, it's like, we'd sell you the honey for this much and they can put it in the sticks.
Right.
They might be very interested in hearing about that because I know their mother too.
Cool.
And
Okay.
she was asking, actually the mother is how I met the grandfather, but she was asking, I saw a thing on Facebook where she's like, hey, do you have any ideas? And I said, I'm not putting my ideas on Facebook. No way, man. They're going straight to your sons
Right.
because you don't want to blast it out there. So everybody can, like suck it up. But yeah,
Right.
I don't know if we could do like, if it's a half a teaspoon, the stick's not going to be that huge, but I mean, that's all stuff that can be determined is like, how much honey do you need? What's the best quantity, stuff like that. But I was just thinking, man, 3 times a day, that's going to be a pain. I might just buy 2 bottles and have one at the office and one at the house because dragging it back and forth is a good way to break it and have honey everywhere in a big mess. And
Right. Right. And a teaspoon and yes. Yeah. Good. Those are great ideas.
So I know I'm full of great ideas. I just know how much work goes behind the ideas. But that's why I'm like, if you worked with these guys and they already have it all set up to do the honey sticks,
Right.
I think that would be a doable deal where, since they're already set up and then financially they can work out all the intricacies of that.
Right. Perfect. And I can hear Mark talking to Gavin, probably Gavin, about your situation and some other stuff. So he'll get back to you.
Okay. Well, I just, when stuff pops into my head like that, I just know it's something I need to act on.
Yes. Good for you.
Because I almost always get results when I act on little pops.
Yes. That's awesome. If you're faithful in the little, he will give you much. So
Exactly. So
every little. Awesome.
because I've been praying and saying I can't take these drugs and I got to deal with this and I got to get it healed. And so that is my plan. Okay.
Okay.
So I've seen you writing stuff down. So you've got
Yep.
the exercises written down.
Yep, I got the heart.
Okay, perfect. So you can still do the prone scapular exercises.
That's on my tummy, right?
Yep, where you lay on your tummy and lift your, what did you call the Superman?
Right.
So you-
Superman and the one out 90 degrees where I'm bringing the 2 blades together.
Yeah. So to continue working on those.
Okay.
And then you can still do some of the stretches. Oh, I was going to show you that one stretch. Okay, I got to figure out how to place my computer so you can get a reasonably decent angle because this is okay. So I'm going to do it on my right arm because you're going to get a better picture if I'm doing it with my right arm.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm holding on to the door jamb very firmly because I'm going to lean my butt back.
Uh-huh.
And I feel the stretch from here all the way down into there. Now, if I want more stretch, do you see how my butt's moving?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so these are what's grabbing the wall. And then this is giving me the stretch because it's providing the pull away from the wall. Okay.
Okay.
And then I scoot my butt over to the side. So when I scoot it over, and you may not have to scoot it over, by the way, but when I scoot it over, I get a much firmer stretch down there. that might be too much for you, but maybe in the next week or two, it won't be. So we'll see. So
I
how's
get a big stretch. Am I too low or too high at all?
No, I think you're as good as it's gonna get right now because, I mean, would I like your arm to be a little, your shoulder to be a little straighter? Yes, I would, but I don't think you can get it there. So, you know, you start where you're at and you continue to work it better.
And just hold it for 10 or 20 seconds or something?
Yep, hold it for 20 seconds and then give yourself a little break, move it around and do it about 3 times. And then do that every day. I mean, you can hold on to a kitchen counter or oh yeah, it's very different between your right and left.
That is so different. Oh my gosh. It's always good to test.
So I want you to do your left side first 3 times. And then do your right side once or twice, and then do your left side 3 times again. So we're gonna do it like body power principles.
Okay.
Because we want that the right side to go, oh, I see how you're doing that. I can understand what's going on. Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Okay. Indoor jam. Would you do these stretching like before, after, during the waist weights?
I would probably do the stretches after. The reason being is that when your muscles are warmed up, they stretch better, in my opinion, number 1. And number 2, it also kind of wrings it out because your muscles are going to kind of engorge with blood. And hold on. I'm losing. I got like 15 or 20 seconds to plug in. And if I don't plug in when it gives me that notice, we're done.
You got it.
So, so when you do the stretches at the end, you're actually helping to wring out the muscles so that you don't end up with them like getting really stuck and engorged.
Okay.
Does that contribute to muscle soreness? So you want to like do that wringing out at the end so that keeps that fluid moving.
Okay. And what about stretching the lower back, since I was getting so much pain after the arm exercises?
So I would go back
Tiredness.
to our level 5 and do some just bending over like this. That feels really good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Oh.
That's like, oh, let me keep doing that.
Okay.
The pouring rain.
Awesome. Okay. So do we just need to schedule the next one?
Yes.
We do 2 weeks again?
I'm thinking, yeah, because I think that you'll have, you know, you'll be able to get a lot of strengthening going.
Okay, yeah. What's the 7th of September like for you?
Well, if I can get my schedule to open, there we go. Okay, the 7th. I usually, in the morning, I have a meeting and in the afternoon, I have a different meeting.
Okay,
But I need to verify with that, with the guy in the afternoon, if he's gonna come on the 7th or not.
Okay, or the 9th?
Okay, I could do 10 o'clock my time on the 9th.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, again, if you get sore and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really sore, deep blue, and go back to the lymphatic video and have your husband do the lymphatic stuff. To your neck
Okay.
and shoulders, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Because some people go, oh, I got too sore, I gotta quit. And I'm like, go to no weights if you need to instead of 1 pound.
Yep.
And do like instead of 10 reps, do 7 reps or do 5
Okay.
reps. Whatever you
Okay.
do something rather than going, oh my gosh, I got too sore, so now I'm not gonna do anything. Don't do that.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mary. I have some good homework.